and welcome to 3Q, where I interview industry professionals for just 15 minutes by asking three powerful questions. I'm your host, Rachel Vogel, and joining us tonight is the incredible Britnee Forman. Britnee's known for being a multi hyphenate music executive and data strategist with a passion for helping artists and creators make a living doing what they love. She currently serves as the head of data strategy and digital operations at Acceleration Music, where she scales labels and music catalogs using data as well as royalty collection, marketing, development, and discovery tactics. She's held positions at top companies like Downtown Music Holdings, Pandora, Next Big Sound, Universal Music Republic Group, Spin Magazine, and many others. She's also worked as a sound engineer, artist manager, and public speaker. And last but certainly not least, she's the global co chair for membership at Women in Music, an organization committed to advancing equality, visibility, and opportunities for women in the music industry. So, with all that said, Britnee, it sounds like there's nothing you haven't done. How's it going?
Going well. Yeah. You went through that. I was like, wow, I'm tired just like hearing what I've done. Yeah.
You've done
Hello.
a great job. Look,
Thank
it's brought you
you.
here. All
Yes, absolutely.
right. Are you ready for the first question?
Yes.
Imagine for a second you're sitting down with your 25-year-old self. What one piece of advice would you give her on a personal note? And what one piece of advice would you give her from a business perspective?
Um, I mean, just one piece. I think first I'd say that I'm very proud of 25-year-old me because her hustle is what got me here. And it's nice to hear that somebody's proud of you when you're that age. And so I think that would be first and foremost. But I think the personal one that no type A type person likes to hear is like relax. Like nobody's gonna die. It's gonna be fine. Like it doesn't always have to be hustle and grind like that. Well, it's gonna burn you out several times in the future. If you don't kind of like learn to take care of your mental health. And I think professionally, I would advise to go where you're growing. I think a lot of times, especially when we're starting out, we want to do the best no matter like what type the environment is, whether we're if it's not a great environment for
Mm-hmm.
us, we are gonna continue. It's like I just want to like make them like me or like show that I'm worthy or show that I know what I'm doing to our detriment sometimes. And so like it doesn't have to be easy, but if you don't feel like you're growing or you don't feel like really good or in alignment, I guess is the best way to say it. If you don't feel in alignment with what the company's doing or what like the person you're reporting to is doing, and it's still just very hard, maybe like leave. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are so many opportunities, especially when you're young, you have it's a lot easier to pivot because you have just as much experience as another person your age because it's basically none. So it's like, great, let's go try find something else. And if this doesn't work, if this doesn't feel like it is authentic and I'm aligned with like what my mission is and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Great advice, especially for young people in the business. So, with your first one, you're saying relax. So, I'm curious, is there anything specific that you've kind of learned along your way that you do to wind down, to kind of like disassociate?
Oh, disassociating is a little treat. So I've established a very healthy kind of relationship with work, and I try to do that for my team that reports to me as well. It's just kind of like this is a job. Like we love the effort. We like love your passion for it, but at the end of the day, like you're supposed to log off and go be a person. Like if I see my team off on after hours because we're on different coasts, I'll just be like, log off. Like nobody's gonna die. Like we can work on it in the morning. And at least for me, it is going outside. Like I really love being outside. I go and work in my garden in the mornings,
Oh
or
my
I'll go
God, that's
hiking
so
with my
nice.
friends on the weekend. I try to like connect with nature as much as possible because that makes me feel really grounded. But I also I've learned it's part of that process where you learn like what kind of like motivates you outside of work because like we all want the kudos, we want the recognition, but that's only going to get us so far. And if that's the thing that we're chasing, we're going to get burned out. And
Mhm.
so I try to find something that really you can't be validated for. You can't like get a gold star for like that was a really good hike. You didn't die. Like you just have to be like this has no productivity like points. And so like but I enjoy it. And so it's trying to find those things that I can enjoy without having to worry about like am I doing this right?
Totally. Love it. All right, moving right along. Question two. Every industry has its dirty little secrets, and we both know that it's no different in the music industry. Sometimes people think that's a bad thing, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they can be good. What's one secret you would like to share with our listeners about the industry?
You don't have to be cool. Which I think we all like look at music and we're like, oh, everybody's so cool. Like they go to shows. I'm head of data. I like Doctor Who and like sci-fi and like I like have learned to lean all the way into it because you're gonna find your people. Like I have friends in the music industry who are also very nerdy. Like and like, but they have really cool jobs. Like so there's A&R research. There is digital marketing. Like there's things where it's like all of those nerdy things that like make you like can be used somewhere, but like we can't all be A&R, we can't all be managers, we can't all like be hanging out with the band. And you know what? I'm actually okay with that in my older age because I like to go to bed by 11. I don't want to like be like, let's hang out till 4 in the morning. Like that's not my vibe anymore. And so I think that sometimes people feel like they have to perform kind of this persona that everybody needs to like them and I need to be cool enough to hang out with people in the music industry. And it's not like there's all kinds of us here in the music industry, and you will find your people if you are authentic to who you are.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially for people that are just like interns or just starting out. I think it's so good for them to hear that because I know when I was an intern, I was like, oh my God, I have to like know everyone, do everything.
Yeah, you're just like I have to like not like be into like really weird humor or like make sure
Mhm.
everybody thinks I'm like the coolest and want me around. I was like, it doesn't matter, especially if you're an intern. Like they're worried about like if they're gonna make dinner reservations. They're not
Yeah.
really worried about like if you only watch foreign films. Like I tried to do all of that thing. It's like I just want people to think I'm cool. And I don't care because I'm just like I make sure people gets paid, and I think that's pretty cool. And people think I'm cool
Mhm.
because like, oh, you're the one who makes sure like you shake down companies and make sure our black box royalties get paid. I was like, I am, and I'm petty about it too. So like, it's fun. Uh,
That's so funny. Well, you are cool. Awesome. All right, last question. Throughout your career, I can only imagine you've been asked plenty of questions, whether for industry conferences, the media, or even a promotion. But throughout all of those interviews and all of those questions, I'll bet there was one that you've never been asked but would have liked to. So, what is that question and what would be your answer?
um, I mean, there's lots of questions I'd love to be asked, and I think what it comes down to is asking questions that divorce people from their job because I think we get so attached to like what our title is. And especially like when I was in New York, the first question is like, so what do you do? And like you become like the person who does this thing instead of
Mm.
just this person. And so like I kind of tried to at least mirror what I would want. And I ask people it's like, hey, what's your favorite smell? Which like in New York is really funny. But like or like what is like your favorite word or something? Just something that's super random and like is probably who they are as speaks more to who they are as a person and less about like, oh, what labels you work with or what artists are you working with? Like what like motivates you? What are you passionate about? Like what kind of like excites you? Like
Mhm.
or like give them an existential crisis or something like that's super fun like over drinks when you're like networking it's like what do you do what motivates you to be a better person and
Yeah.
watch them like spin in real time that's actually really funny.
That's so cool. Awesome. Well, if somebody asked that to you, what would your answer be?
My favorite smell is petrichor, which is the smell of rain on like dry pavement. My
Wow.
favorite word is onomatopoeia because it's a big word for like a very small thing. What motivates me is leaving, I guess, the world better than I guess than I found it, or like have like a legacy of like I I left things better. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think even that translates to my work is I want to have an impact of like helping artists and musicians and music creators. And so I know that I can't carry a tune, but like I can make sure that they get paid and I can and help make the ecosystem more efficient. And so like that carries over, but it's a large, broad question that I like asking people because I it's more connecting with people instead of like, ooh, I'm gonna like hold this for later. Like I might need to talk to somebody at that label. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to know who. No, it's just like, who are you? Do I want to hang out with you later when I've had
Right.
like a third glass of wine and like tell you like really nerdy jokes? Like, or am I gonna be like, I'm gonna go?
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you don't, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. But I would like to know off the bat instead of being like, oh, I have to make nice for 10 minutes now that I've
Yeah.
asked what they do and they're gonna tell me at length. And I'd just be like, so like what's your vibe? Like, what do you do? And so I think those are questions that I like more than asking. It's like, okay, like where do you see the music industry going? Because we're all gonna be like, the future's tech. It's like
Mm.
cool. That was a very like long way to just say petrichor and onomatopoeia. But yeah, those are the type of things I'd like to get asked and like asking other people.
That's great. Well, Brittany, it has been so great having you on tonight. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Of course.
And to all of my listeners, I know you enjoyed hearing from Brittany just as much as I enjoyed speaking with her. So stay tuned for next week's episode of 3Q, where we interview industry professionals for just 15 minutes by asking three powerful questions. See you next time.